G'day, Mark here from Live and Breathe Worship. On today's episode of Easy Guitar for Worship, we're going to look at the subject of the G key chord shapes. Now, the G key chord shapes are there's six main chord shapes for the key of G, and here they are with their names and numbers. Now, if you don't know what I mean by the numbers, if you check out our previous series called Easy Theory for Worship, and particular episodes 3 and 4, that'll help you understand the number system and what I'm talking about when I talk about the numbers. But let's look at our first chord, which is the chord of G, and sounds like this. Now, this chord has two strings that are open and that we need to be played, so all 6 strings are played with our first finger on the 2nd fret and our 2nd finger on the 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, and 4th finger on the 3rd fret as well. Now, the 4th finger is our pivot finger, and if you look at most of these chords in our 6 chords, they all use the 4th finger as a pivot point, which means it's a finger that never lifts off the fretboard except for in the key of D, the chord of D, and that uses a pivot around the 3rd finger, which also is used in most of the chords. So the next thing we want to play is a chord of C, which sounds like this. Now, C is simply done by moving your 1st and 2nd finger down 1 string. And what we do is, if we can, we use our 2nd finger to slightly mute the E string, because we want to mute that E string, and it's sort of muted like that. But if you strum from the 2nd finger onwards, and our G string is open, so we want that to be sounded. So when we go back between G, C, and I suggest you just practice doing that. So if you're not familiar with that, you can just get used to your fingers moving like that. And then the other chord is the D chord. Now, with the D chord, we need to mute 2 strings. Now, there's really no way to mute these 2 strings. We just have to really be more accurate with our strumming and play only those 4 strings. And that sounds like this. And our last chord is the 6th chord, which is the E minor. And like the G, we strum all 6 strings, the 2 open strings included, and it sounds like this. Okay, so we've got G, C, D, and E minor. They're our 4 major chords, 4 main chords, I should say, in the key of G. And then we have 2 other chords that are sort of substitute chords, and that's the A minor, which sounds like this, and then the B minor, that sounds like this. Now, with the B minor, we need to mute this string and mute this string. Now, it's not a big deal if you don't, because this is actually a D, the D string, and D is in this chord. So if you don't mute it, it's okay. But you can mute it slightly by leaning your number 1 finger across it. With the A minor, though, you do need to strum from the A string downwards and try and avoid playing the E, because it sounds, well, I'll show it to you. It's not bad, and it's not a big deal if you do hit it, but it's just more accurate if you play the actual A, the A open string first. Okay, so the 6 chords are like this: G, A minor, B minor, C, D, and E minor. Okay, so that's our 6 main chord shapes for the key of G with their numbers and their names. Now, in our next lesson, we're going to be looking at a song and how we can use those chords in that song. We're going to be taking the 4 main chords, which was G, E minor, C, and D, and apply them to a song, and we'll see how we go from there. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.